Haaland, Achraf Hakimi, arguably the best right-back in world football, Brahim Diaz, Ez Abde, Alex Sørloth, Martin Ødegaard. You can keep going, there's a lot of them. And keep tabs as well on Julian Ryerson of Norway, the right-back who loves to get forward. Morocco have chosen slightly easier fixtures to warm up for this one. Burundi a 5-0 win. And from the Madagascar 4-0 victory on Tuesday, 6 changes incoming. Bono in goal, Hakimi, Unahi, Brahim Diaz, Shadi Riyad, and Neil El Ainawi. Diaz and Ez Abde providing the width for Ismail Saibari. Kick-off in a few moments' time. Those are match officials for today's game. Pierre-Luc Lozier is the man in the middle. Norway played really well in the first half on Monday against Sweden. They won by 3-1. And they've only made a couple of changes, which we will show you shortly. Martin Ødegaard skipping the Norwegians. Of course, Achraf Hakimi has the armband for the Moroccans. Everything here yesterday went pretty smoothly when Bolivia faced Scotland. It's a stadium that is used to hosting games of football, with the Red Bulls calling this place home. Jürgen Strand Larsen is replaced by Erling Haaland. Martin Ødegaard comes in for Oscar Bob. Hopefully those two officials will not be required. And the Norway starting 11 presented by Bet Online. A back four that will probably be the back four that starts in their first game against Iraq in Group I in Boston on the 16th of June. Just those 2 changes, with Haaland coming in for Strand Larsen and Ødegaard for Bob. They went 4-4-2 against Sweden. The likelihood today, with Arsnes and Berge and Ødegaard more central midfielders, is that they will play a 4-3-3. Erling Haaland likely to be the man through the middle, so Sørloth will have to play a little bit wider than he normally does for Atletico Madrid. Antonio Nusa is a talent. He'll start on the left-hand side. Really looking forward to this one. The live FIFA rankings have Morocco in 7 and Norway in 31. That could be a false position for Norway, because, as a lot of people have been talking about, they are a potential dark horse in this year's World Cup. This is the last fixture for the two sides before we get underway, and it's like a repeat of the Champions League final, with kicking the ball out of play to immediately press your opponent deep inside their half. We've seen that before, Rodri.
Yes, we've seen that before, but not very often, Mark, and that's why it is still seems so strange for all the football fans.
A lot of Real Madrid fans in attendance as well, keeping tabs on Brahim Diaz. Ryerson on the right-hand side had a really good game against Sweden, got 2 assists on Monday at the Ullevål in Oslo. This is Martin Ødegaard. Probably 80% of the crowd are supporting Morocco. They'll begin their campaign in New Jersey against Brazil. Good pressure in the early stages. Nusa trying to get back to help out. Well mopped up by Arsnes. Want that one back, just trying to bend it in with the outside of the right foot. Erling Haaland immediately making the gesture, the kind of ball that he wants. And as expected, Sørloth playing off to the right-hand side, with Haaland through the middle and Nusa on the left. Norway winning home and away against Italy in qualifiers. 2 results, especially the win in Italy, that made many sit up and take notice. It's a tough group though, with Senegal and France. Got a feel for Iraq. That's a tough ask. Good challenge, no foul, and this is Saibari. Big opportunity for the Moroccans. Right across the face and cleared away, with Urian Nuland, the goalkeeper, trying to get close to that one. Here's Saibari. Hakimi. Unahi and Saibari. It's when he, the striker, comes wide, they have to decide if it's Brahim Diaz or who is going in. Is Abde? This is Unai. And good defending for a goal kick. But a positive spell to begin with for Morocco.
Incredible intensity by the Moroccan in this beginning of the match. I think Norway are struggling a lot in these first minutes of the game. Not only because of the temperature, but also because Moroccan strikers are pressing out that much.
Who finishes top of that group?
Yeah, that group is kind of interesting for the rest of the groups because of that third place. I think Norway could have also kind of. I'm not gonna say that this is going to be easy for both teams to go through, but I mean, I'm sure they have potential. They get individualities, and they're going to be in the next round for sure.
Nusa. Arsnes. Conductor of the orchestra, Sander Berger, playing alongside Martin Ødegaard in there. Sloppy from Rierson. He's off to the races. Brahim Diaz. 1-0. The giveaway by Rierson. And Morocco go half the length of the field. And their star man gets the 14th goal for his country, Brahim Diaz.
Great transition by Morocco, how they broke those Norwegian lines, the speed, the combination up there, and indeed, Brahim Diaz, that was great, the shoot. And, you know, he had another option, but it was a great, great goal.
Not sure what David Moller-Wolf is doing, just standing off Brahim Diaz. Allowed him far too much space, far too much time. And the 26-year-old punishes Norway. Great work from Ez Abde on the left-hand side. The decoy run was made by Saibari. Brahim Diaz was always going to be the target if he was in space. And the perfect start, celebrated by the majority of the crowd inside Sports Illustrated Stadium.
After what happened in the Qatar World Cup, all the people we're thinking about what version of Morocco we will see on this World Cup, and it's going to be like a very similar version because we've seen that they are really strong back in defense, and we've seen in this goal how the two seasons are great still.
To the other end now, a chance for the equalising goal. Still alive. Rierson couldn't find a teammate initially and then cleared away by Issa Diop. Tempo continuing, no foul, on we go. Canadian referee perfectly happy with that challenge. This is Surlot now on the left. Good defending. Double team from Morocco, and the fans are loving the energy shown by their side. Ten minutes gone, Morocco ahead. Brahim Diaz, top scorer in the squad, with the exception of one, Ayoub El Kabi, Olympiacos striker, who's on the bench today. One of the things Norway are very good at is getting it forward and quickly into the box for their target men. Cross wasn't the best, but they still have possession. Nusa back to Muller-Wolf. You're not going to get the intensity for the full 90 minutes. It's bits and pieces, but you all have to be intense at the same time, and that's how Morocco have started this game.
They're really good at that, and I think that since we were talking about what they did back in Qatar, I think this is kind of tricky for them because it was really challenging for the national team coach, for Owari, in order to say, okay, we want to be more protagonist role in this World Cup, but at the end of the day, their strengths are that verticality, that speed, you know, how they press in order to get the ball possession as soon as possible and go fast to try to get a goal.
Here's an example. They're perfectly content just to sit off with Unai providing the support for Saibari. Underway by Diop. And by Morwolf. And clutched well by Bono. Playing his football in Saudi Arabia with Al Hilal. They pick and choose when to press the Norwegian defence. Kept in by Rierson for Surlock. Holland in the middle. One back by Nusa. Referee saying the ball was won, no complaints from Nusa. And the free kick for Norway for the foul by Sanderberg.
No complaints about that fall. Brian Diaz looks at his national team coach, trying to get some indications. And it looks again like Morocco are getting advantage individually, also collectively. That's why they are so comfortable so far in this match.
Well, to be honest, I know he's got complaints, Mr. Fryer, but I'm not sure how many complaints he can have. A big team.
Yes, I was thinking about that. And even before, we saw Brian talking to Holland, and the difference of height, it was just incredible.
There must be a tendency to be a little bit more direct, which is certainly possible because there's not many players that will beat Holland too often in the air, but it's then about having players around him. And they did it so well in qualifying, winning all 8, scoring 37 and only conceding 5. Granted, they had games against Moldova, Estonia and Israel as well as Italy, but this is where they can do something in transition, but their quality so far, Norway, has just lacked. Better. That's what they need, the intensity, which hasn't really been seen. In for Haaland and off Diop. Much better from Norway, just doing what they do best.
They're asking for a handball in Morocco's box. Let's see the replay.
No, off the shoulder.
Yeah, clear.
There is VAR. It wouldn't take too long to check that one.
Holland's face, I think, is like, okay, perfect.
Well, you don't ask.
I got it.
It's worth the question. A few Manchester City shirts evident behind the goal. Support of their man, Erling Braut Haaland. What a wonderful pre-tournament group photo. It's not going to go out either. And one back by Unai. Now the counter. This is where Morocco have looked most dangerous. Nice switch by Abde. No one there to follow up for Morocco. Whether or not that was the best option, there were 2 players at the back post with Saibari in acres of space, but instead the shot was made by Hakimi, and well, he is Hakimi, and it wouldn't surprise anybody if that had ended up in the back of the net. Saibari wasn't happy then.
Right after Nilan's touch, the ball effect was really weird and strange, but this is something again that Norway can't afford. When you get this advantage and you got the ball position, you don't have to allow Morocco to do those counter attacks and leave those free spaces at the back.
Girona midfielder Azzedine Ounahi with the delivery, doesn't get beyond the first man, headed away by Martin Ødegaard. This time headed away by Rierson. Kimi nods it down. Rouadi starts again by sending it back away. There was a prime example of Norway not having much of the ball, but when they had it, looking far more likely and lively with what they do with it than Norway have so far. That was brilliantly kept in.
But you mentioned that before, Mark, and for me that is the key of all in Norway and also in Morocco, the intensity. When you have that intensity and you are focused on getting back the ball possession, this is where Norway can make any kind of danger.
The olays from the Moroccans in the crowd. Bit early for that.
Yes.
There'll be a lot of these Moroccan supporters that live in the United States and don't get to see their national team in the flesh very often. This is This is a treat for a lot of them. They can do what they like.
That was really funny back in Qatar World Cup, where all the Arabic island were choosing Morocco as their second national team, favorite national team, and it looked in a lot of stadiums that they were playing together.
Space for Brahim on this near side.
Yes, again.
They've got to worry about Hakimi. He's in possession. They've now got to worry about Brahim. He's got the ball. Once Hakimi goes forward into that area he's in right now, he does distract the opposition. Just drifts. In from Brahim. That would have been special from Ez Abdet. That was the same combo for the opening goal. But this time it was in reverse and so close to number 2.
That was about to be one of the best goals of the season so far. Great game by Morocco. How he controlled Brahim and how he delivered to Eze inside Norway's box. That was almost incredible.
But it's too easy for Morocco to get that delivery. You saw how easy it was for Brahim Diaz to get space for the opening goal with David Muller-Wolf too far off him. And there's the card for Pearson.
Years ago in Spain, when he was trying to figure out if he wanted to play for Morocco or for Spain, I think he did it right. First of all, because he was going to be more important in Morocco rather than in Spain. He was going to play a good role in Spain anyway, but not maybe a starting role every single game as he's doing in Morocco. So I think, this is about heart at the same time too.
The changes looking to team up. It's a strong challenge, but a fair challenge and a legal one according to the referee. We do have VAR today, which can only intervene if it's inside the box or if it's a potential red card challenge, which the latter certainly doesn't seem like it was.
Yeah, good decision for the referee in this case, because I think he touched the ball. But anyway, let's see, because looks like these substitutions have made a positive effect on Morocco.
Well, 4 of these players aren't even in the squad of 26. They've just brought them along for a bit of experience. You can play them in the friendlies and the warm-ups. That's actually what happened to Tyler Fletcher, the son of Darren Fletcher, the Man United former midfielder. His son ended up part of the Scotland squad when Napoli's Billy Gilmore got hurt last week against Curaçao. Rahimi. Nice bit of skill from El Kanous. Rabat, the first touch wasn't great, was it?
Bad control. And this is strange because he had kind of space in order to think twice and to control better the ball, but I think he was a bit nervous. And Rabat made a great job back in Qatar World Cup for Morocco. He was one of the best Morocco players. After that, he signed for Man United, and he ended up in Betis this season, where he has been one of the key players for Manuel Pellegrini's side. He's got personality, quality, and indeed he has good performances so far.
Rierson didn't get enough on that one. Maimouni gets the free kick. Talented player. Plays his football in the Bundesliga for Eintracht Frankfurt. A line of 4 Norwegian players ensuring that ball is being headed clear. as expected. The 7 players remaining who started the game were the 7 who made way.
Looked like Morocco are fresher in this part of the second half. They are getting the ball possession again.
Good defending. Under pressure, they got away with it. I think you'll see the tempo increased exponentially for all the World Cup games compared with teams playing in these friendly matches. You listen to all their pre-game press conferences of the managers and all the post-game. Pre-game, it's I just want to avoid injuries. Look at Ancelotti last night with Wesley, the right back. He's now out of the squad. Post-game, it's all about I'm glad we avoided injuries if that's the case. Rierson's still on though. Looking forward to watching him at the World Cup. That's a nasty ball. Got away with that.
Look again the pressure that Morocco are doing on Norwegian construction.
On field by Oscar Bob. The effort from Jürgen Strand Larsen is blocked. So a whole host of changes made by Norway during that cooling break. Here's one of them, Oscar Bob. Decent chance, equalising goal, Martin Ødegaard. Morocco just switched off at the back. No one picking up Ødegaard, and with 15 minutes to go, Norway's back on level terms, but Morocco defensively falling asleep.
You mentioned before, Mark, Oscar Bob should be in this second half to do something different, and here you have. The movement was just incredible, the control, the deliver, how he finds Ødegaard completely on his own inside Morocco's box, and then finalizing at his best. Really great play and really great goal by Norway, so more than deserved.
It's his 68th cap for his country, the skipper. A lot of people would think he would have more than the 5 goals he has now, but that's his 5th for his country, and Norway are back on level terms. Their substitutes making an immediate impact, with Oscar Bob providing the assist, and Ødegaard, the skipper, who's been on since the start, levels things up. A tie, just like we were when the sides met for the only other time at the World Cup back in 1998 when it was 2-2. And they want more. Here's Oscar Bob. We're commentating on him just about 10 miles away at Yankee Stadium in the summer of 24 when he was playing pre-season for Manchester City, and he just lit pre-season up, and then he got that nasty injury and was out for the majority of season 24-25. He's such a talent, Oscar Bob, and if Fulham, where he is now, can get that player that City had, then what a player they're getting.
Yes, 100%, and how important to be fast, quick and intelligent is for a national squad like Norway. In this case, we were thinking in the first half that Norway would need something else apart from Nusa, that he was the only player that was performing at his level. We were saying that Norway needed a plan B, and Oscar Bob is saying, hey, here I am. I got quality, I got speed, I got dribbling, and indeed I got a great delivery, good assist to Ødegaard in order to score first Norway goal.
Stadium announcer just going through the replacements and informing the crowd that Erling Haaland was replaced by Jürgen Strand Larsen. Changed the goalkeeper with Egil Selvik of Watford between the sticks now.
Larsen just won with Crystal Palace the Conference League against Rayo Vallecano. It's the same profile, rather, than Sorlo, than Holland. Really tall guy. He can play as a header. He can play with the feet really well. Good quality. Interesting play.
Rahimi. lively since coming on at half-time for Abde. Straight swap in the middle of the park. Berg for Berge. Norway. I wonder how many of their starting 11 that both coaches have got pretty much firmed up and an idea that this is what they're going to do. You see Christian Torsved coming on, and for those of you of a certain vintage, you might remember his father, Eric, who's a goalkeeper at Spurs. Here's the goal again for Martin Ødegaard as he goes off the pitch. He's had one of his quieter games today, but how many times have we seen that, especially for Arsenal? Remember, he was at Real Madrid as well in his previous clubs.
Qatar World Cup, but this World Cup has been the confirmation that Morocco has a great team, and from now on has to be one to watch in the next World Cups.
They take off the giant of Erling Haaland. They bring on the giant of Jørgen Strand Larsen to replace him. In by Ryerson, good from Bono. They've lacked quality, Morocco, in getting the ball clear in the last 15-20 minutes or so. Everything's just coming straight back to them.
Solbakken still has the touch.
That probably should have been a foul by Torbjorn Hegem and goalkeeper Bono, but we can't complain that goalkeepers are overly protected and then say, well, that should have been a free kick. It's got to be one or the other. And frustration there because he wanted advantage. I think it was Torsved. The referee had brought it back. It's looked lively since coming on, Christian Torsved. I'm sure Dad would have tried to see if he wanted to be a goalkeeper, his son, but he had other ideas. He's done well at Sassuolo in Serie A. Home of Roberto Di Serbi. Norway definitely ending this game much stronger. Good tackle that one by Rahimi. And that's the last thing you want if you're Ståle Solbakken. Your best defender, who's also probably your best right midfielder and your best right winger. An innocuous challenge 2.5 minutes before the end of a game that you wonder, why is he still playing here?
That's it. That's it. You don't have to risk in this part of the match, because you know you're gonna have some problems, and that's what both coaches don't really desire.
I mean, he's okay. He's back on his feet, but just a little bit of a warning.
Yes.
Morocco to the other end. Good tackle. They'll get a corner though. 2 minutes plus added time remaining. There's been a lot of stoppages plus the cooling break, so there's probably about 10 minutes left in this game. Backup goalkeeper winning his 7th cap, Egil Selvik. That's a chance.
Yes.
For Amaimouni.
Again, these kind of disconnections in the Norwegian defensive line should be dangerous for the World Cup. Not maybe in this kind of friendly matches, but in the World Cup it can cost goals.
I think there's plenty for the opposition of these two teams to get their teeth stuck into in doing their research when preparing to face Morocco and Norway. It's the Norwegians looking for a winner. Morocco defending well and get the free kick. From a Norway perspective, you basically have the 3 defenders plus Ryerson that gets forward, and they do try and get Rolf forward from left back where they can. And from the perspective of facing Morocco, Morocco are probably at their most dangerous when the opposition's just given them the ball back.
That's it. That's it. Exactly what I mean. At the end of the day, you have to take advantage of the strengths that you got on the squad. In the case of Morocco, for me, they're really pragmatical in the defensive line. They're really strong up there. but the counter-attack is just incredible. And I think that they've grown a little bit more in the recent years, in the last 2 seasons, because they like to get more the ball possession. With Norway, I think they have a very young, talented team. They still have to grow and develop themselves in a high international level.
We're going to find a way against the better sides to get the ball to Haaland. No added time. Okay. Well, that is what it is.